In this Jubilee year, religious congregations and communities gathered on the 1st and the 2nd of February, the feast of the presentation of the Lord, to celebrate the joy of being totally consecrated to God according to their charism and mission. You will be blessed when you enter and blessed when you leave. The verse, engraved on a polychrome mosaic floor of a church belonging to a Byzantine monastery, was unearthed during excavations conducted by the Israeli Antiquities Authority in the southern Holy Land. The exhibition Jordan, Dawn of Christianity opened in Rome. In addition to the Jordanian Minister of Tourism, Queen Rania was present, together with the diplomatic corps of all the countries involved, including Italy, and the Vatican Secretary of State, Cardinal Pietro Parolin. The latest statistics published by Israel's Central Bureau of Statistics highlight the Christian presence in the Holy Land. From Indonesia to the Holy Land, the vocational story of Sister Marisa Funan, Franciscan tertiary of the Daughters of St. Elizabeth, the love of God that turns her story upside down. The Catholic Church in the Holy Land is rich with the presence of many orders and congregations that have come to contribute and serve the Mother Church in Jerusalem. According to their charisms, they fulfill their mission of prayer, witness, charity, education, and fraternity. The first to arrive in the Holy Land after the Muslim conquest were the Franciscans. The custody of the Holy Land, founded in 1217, is the largest community in the territory. Today there are about 30 male religious orders and congregations that have convents scattered throughout the Holy Land, while those for women number more than 70. To these are added some 20 institutes of consecrated life. Multiculturality and diversity of charisms give colour to a life that, in following Christ, is like torches lit in the night and gives visibility to the Christian life. So said Patriarch Pierbattista Pizzaballa in his homily during the first solemn Vespers celebrated at St. Catherine's Church in Bethlehem on Saturday afternoon.
Bethlehem
is the Basilica of the Nativity, one of the three places also indicated by the bull where one can receive the indulgence. Today, with the day dedicated to consecrated life, we will also carry the Jubilee Cross, which will be in all three of these places. It is also a time to thank the Lord for the end of this war, so we hope, so that the Lord, bringing pilgrims and especially with prayer and mutual help, may help us to regain confidence in the future that this war has so deeply wounded.
Fiducia nel futuro che questa guerra ha così profondamente ferito.
Sister Martha, originally from Argentina, has lived in the Holy Land for more than 10 years. She is currently the secretary of the Union of Women Religious of Jerusalem and Judea and feels very grateful to give this service to the local church.
Nosotros estamos felices en este día porque aquí, sobre todo en Tierra Santa,
we are happy on this day because here, especially in the Holy Land, we experience the Catholicity of the religious. We come from different parts of the world, and we have symbolically placed 5 candles of different colors, representing the 5 continents. We religious experience a very special reality here, because we are very united, men and women. We help each other and try to be a sign in this somewhat contradictory land. We live our consecration here with great joy. It's not always easy, but we try to do it with all our faith, with all our love. We ask you to pray for all the men and women religious in the Holy Land, for we need the strength of all.
Con toda la fe, con todo el amor. Recen por todos los religiosos y las religiosas de Tierra Santa, porque necesitamos la fuerza de todos.
On Sunday, the 2nd of February, the Eucharist of the Feast of the Presentation of the Lord and the Day of Consecrated Life was celebrated in the Church of the Latin Patriarchate in Jerusalem. Many concelebrating priests and religious congregations of men and women made their voices heard.
Quest'anno è anche l'occasione nella giornata per la vita consacrata.
This year is also the occasion, on the day for Consecrated Life, to thank the Lord for the many men and women religious who have spent a large part of their lives here in the Holy Land, bringing so many benefits to the people and to the life of the Church. We begin with a nun, Regina Canetti, who is celebrating 80 years of religious life, to those celebrating 10 years. So it is a way of thanking the Lord for this precious gift, because religious life here is what gives the true style of Christian life.
Lo stile della vita cristiana.
At the end of the celebration, the religious celebrating their Jubilee year received a memento from the hands of the Cardinal. The Israeli Antiquities Authority discovered the remains of a 1,500-year-old Byzantine monastery during preparation work for the construction of a new district in the southern Holy Land town of Kiryat Gat.
It is the largest monastery ever discovered in this region. It was located in a town that housed a wine press and a local pottery industry. Inside the monastery, a small church with a magnificent mosaic floor was discovered. In the center, an inscription in ancient Greek blesses those who come there in prayer. Quoting Deuteronomy 28:6. You shall be blessed when you enter and blessed when you leave.
The geometric motifs of the mosaic include small tesserae, used to enhance the cross-shaped decorations and surrounding letters, as well as ornamental carvings depicting a lion, a dove, and a large jar. Discoveries in and around the monastery include numerous metal and glass vessels, coins, marble objects, and utensils, all valuable evidence of the existence of a large and prosperous community that once lived there.
Other monasteries testifying to the spread of Christianity are known throughout the region. In general, there is an increasing number of monasteries dating back to the Byzantine era in the country, especially in this particularly prosperous area.
It is well known that in the Byzantine period there were churches, monasteries everywhere, more than any other period of the history of this land.
These churches offered spiritual services to Christian communities in the surrounding villages and also served as destinations for pilgrims. Brother Eugenio Aliata, director of the Terra Museum, said there is ample evidence that pilgrims visited not only the main holy sites such as Jerusalem, Nazareth and Bethlehem, but also the south of the Holy Land.
One of these exemplars is the pilgrim of Piacenza, who was coming from Italy in the 6th century. And he says expressly that after Jerusalem, he went to the south and he visited many other places along the way, going to Ascalon, to Gaza, and then towards the Mount Sinai.
Church, Holy Land and pilgrims. An eternal bond that is renewed over the centuries. Today, as the calm returns to the Holy Land, we wait for the pilgrims to complete this picture of faith once again with their return, receiving, among other gifts, the indulgence in this Jubilee year for their visit to the springs of hope. Starting in the last week of January, the Palazzo della Cancelleria Apostolica in Rome is hosting the exhibition Jordan, Dawn of Christianity. Present at the opening event, together with Jordan's Minister of Tourism Lina Hannab, were Father Rifat Bader of the Latin Patriarchate of Jerusalem, along with numerous journalists, diplomats and cultural workers. A few days later, on the 3rd of February, Queen Rania of Jordan, together with the Vatican Secretary of State, Cardinal Pietro Parolin, and members of the diplomatic corps of the Holy See, Italy and Jordan, visited the exhibition. Her Majesty's visit highlights the value of this event, which highlights the increasingly close bond between the Catholic Church and the Hashemite Kingdom. The peaceful coexistence between Christians and Muslims is also shown in the decisive desire to implement tourism. and to enhance the Christian holy sites and promote pilgrimages and itineraries for those seeking a strong spiritual experience in a mystical and ancient land such as Jordan.
Siamo felici, siamo fieri della nostra mostra. Il cristianesimo ha iniziato in Giordania perché dopo il battesimo Gesù subito ha iniziato a proclamare il Re.
We are happy, we are proud of our exhibition. Christianity began in Jordan because after his baptism Jesus immediately started proclaiming the kingdom of God. We begin 5 years of preparation for the Jubilee of Jordan. That would be in 2030, 2,000 years after Jesus' baptism. This would be the Jubilee of the Nativity of Christianity in Jordan. On the Jordan River, Christianity began. We hope that many thousands of people who visit this exhibition will also be like pilgrims in the rich history of Christian Jordan. It is not enough to visit the exhibition. Come also to visit Jordan, to be blessed with the water where Jesus was baptized and to walk on the earth on which Jesus walked.
A essere benedetti dell'acqua dove Gesù era battezzato e nella terra sulla quale Gesù ha camminato.
This exhibition is really important for many reasons, and it's important for Europeans, and not only for Europeans, for many of the Christians all over the world to understand the history of the Christianity, a history that is probably not very well known or very well understood. When people hear about Christians in the Arab world, they are always surprised, even though Christianity has started in the Arab world. When we talk about Jordan, we say Jordan dawn of Christianity. This was the case where John the Baptist baptized Jesus Christ, and this was the moment that Christianity was launched to the world, if you like. So it is important for us to highlight this, also and also to emphasize the beautiful mosaic that Jordan is made of Muslims, Christians, where shared living. We are showing very unique pieces in this exhibition, over 90 pieces, but maybe this very small part of what Jordan has to offer.
We have no less than 35 sites that are closely linked to the important biblical events that took place in Jordan. I want to make sure that everybody understands that Jordan is a very important and integral part of the Holy Land.
I always say, especially for pilgrims, you come to visit Jordan, leave your guidebooks at home and bring a Bible, because this would be your best guide to understand Jordan as part of the Holy Land, but also to understand the entire Holy Land, and to understand the life of the Christians, of the early Christians who have always continued to live and will be leading forever, because this is what our country.
According to the data released by the Central Bureau of Statistics on Christmas Eve 2024, approximately 180,300 Christians reside in Israel, making up 1.8% of the total population. In 2023, the growth rate of the Christian population was 0.6%. Data reveal that about 79% of Christians in Israel are Arab Christians, who make up 6.9% of the total Arab population in the country. Most of them reside in the northern and Haifa districts. Among non-Arab Christians, 41.3% live in the Tel Aviv area and the central region, while 34.8% reside in the north and Haifa. The cities with the highest concentration of Arab Christians are Nazareth, Haifa, Jerusalem, and Nof HaGalil. In terms of civil status, 762 new marriages between Christian couples were registered in Israel. The average age at first marriage was almost 31 for grooms and almost 28 for brides. These values are higher than the average for other religions for both men and women. In 2023, Christian women in Israel gave birth to 2,193 children, of whom about 74%, 1,616 babies, were born to Arab Christian women. the total fertility rate for Christian women dropped to 1 or 2 children per woman. The average size of Christian families was 3, which was lower than that of Jewish and Muslim families. In Christian families with children up to the age of 17, the average number of children was 2. These values are lower than in Jewish and Muslim families. In the academic year 2023-2024, more than 26,000 Christian students attended primary and secondary schools, representing 1.3% of the total number of students. Christian university students in Israel reached 6,700, accounting for 2.2% of the total number of students in higher education institutions. The percentage of women among Christian students was 61%, lower than that of Muslim students, but higher than that of Jewish students and students of other religions. In the labor force, participation rate among Christians aged 15 years and over reached 70.2% in 2023. Among Arab Christians, the rate was over 62%.
Vengo dall'Indonesia e dall'isola di Timor.
I'm from Indonesia, from the island of Timor. Of course, as a girl, what I had planned for my life was study, work, and family. But because the Lord calls as and when He wants, He turned my whole personal plan upside down to fit His plan of love.
Ha capovolto tutto il mio progetto personale al suo progetto d'amore. Sono entrata nell'istituto dal 2011.
I joined the institute in 2011 and started my training in Indonesia with aspirancy. I continued in the Philippines where I completed all my initial formation up to my first profession. After a year, I was transferred to Italy, where I immersed myself in the Italian culture, which is our motherland as a congregation. I was in Rome for 5 years, then in Florence for 2 years, 6 months in Sicily, and finally, after receiving obedience, they called me to come here to the Holy Land. And I welcomed this mission with joy. And here I am now in the Holy Land.
Ed ho accolto con gioia ed eccomi ora sono qui in Terra Santa. La mia vocazione la devo.
I owe my vocation first of all to God, to my parents who passed on to me human, spiritual, and religious values. Above all, today, I owe it to my religious family of the Franciscan Tertiary Sisters and Daughters of St.
Le suore
Elizabeth.
terziarie francescane figlie di Santa Elisabetta. Le suore di Santa Elisabetta non avevo conosciuto prima.
I did not know the Sisters of St. Elizabeth before, nor did I have any plans for religious life. What really pushed me to courageously respond to my vocation was the lifestyle of the sisters, their simplicity, and above all, their joy in serving the sick, the elderly, and in particular, abandoned children, especially the youngest.
I bambini abbandonati, soprattutto questi più piccoli. Una cosa che mi ha veramente toccato quando sono arrivata nelle Filippine per la prima tappa della mia formazione è quando vedevo.
One thing that really touched me when I arrived in the Philippines, for the first stage of my formation, was the presence of the foreign sisters. I could see them in that missionary land. They did not speak a local language, but they gave a testimony of life among us young people. This really pushed me, gave me more courage to respond to my vocation. Their testimony of life pushed me, gave me courage, and their daily support as a community gave me the strength to continue my vocation to this day.
L'impegno di ogni giorno come comunità mi ha dato la forza per continuare la mia vocazione fino ad ora. Per me oggi rispondendo a.
For me today, responding to a call, a vocation to consecrated life is a priceless gift that God has given me.
Inestimabile che Dio ha fatto per me. Collaborando con la custodia di Terra Santa e faccio servizio in museo.
I collaborate with the custody of the Holy Land. I serve at the Museum of the Flagellation by welcoming pilgrims. So the flagellation for me is no longer a place of service, nor a place where the Lord was scourged, but a place of prayer.
Il Signore è stato flagellato, dico, ma un luogo di preghiera. Dopo dopo aver vissuto queste esperienze di questi anni,
Having lived this experience over the years, what I would like to say to the young people, to the girls, is to have the courage to respond to their vocation and, above all, to believe in God's love.
a credere nell'amore di Dio.
Visit the new website of the Christian Media Center. You can find our videos and special programs from the Holy Land presented in a clear and modern layout. Watch also broadcast events from the holy places and 24-hour cameras from Nazareth and Bethlehem. With videos dubbed in 10 languages, we take you straight to the Holy Land. To support us concretely, scan the QR code. Your choice makes a difference.